About a month after the incident with Durvasa, the Pandavas were out hunting together. They had left Draupadi at the hermitage under the care of Daumya. And while they were gone, the king of Sindhu, Jayadratha, passed that way while traveling to the kingdom of Shalva. Seated upon a royal chariot, he came to the outskirts of the Pandavas' ashram and saw Draupadi gathering flowers. At once the king fell in love. The most beautiful Draupadi, her dark complexion framed by bluish curls, shed luster on the woodlands, and as she bent over to gather the wild forest flowers, Jayadratha became captivated. He then spoke to his son, Kotika. "Go and ask this lady her name. Find out if she is an Apsara or a daughter of some god." Jayadratha was on his way to marry the daughter of Shalva, but upon seeing Draupadi, he lost all interest in that other princess. No other woman could ever match the beauty of this forest lady. "Go, Kotika, and find out why this lady loiters in the forest full of wild beasts and thorns. If she will have me as her lord, then I will consider my life successful." The prince jumped down from the chariot. As a jackal approaches a tigress, he went up to Draupadi and spoke to her. "O fair one, who are you who stands here leaning on the branch of a kadamba tree, looking just like a brilliant flame? Why do you feel no fear in this forest? Are you a goddess or the daughter of a celestial? Perhaps you are the wife of a Lokapala. Tell me, gentle lady, who and whose you are, what is your race, and why are you here?" The prince introduced himself, and then pointing to his father said, "That one there, shining like a sacrificial fire, is the king of Sindhu. Surrounded by powerful kings, he is traveling at the head of 6,000 chariots and many elephants, horsemen, and infantry. Like Indradeva himself amid the Maruts, he is journeying amid his friends. And he is gazing upon you, O thin-waisted one." Draupadi stepped back and pulled her cloth over her head before replying, "O prince, it is not proper for me to speak to you here. The ordinance dictates that a woman should never be alone with any man other than her husband. Under the circumstances, however, I will tell you who I am. I am the daughter of King Drupada and the wife of the 5 heroic Pandava brothers. My husbands are now out hunting, but soon they will return. So you should tell your father to dismount from his chariot and wait for them. Indeed, Yudhishthir is fond of guests and will doubtlessly offer you a most fitting reception." Draupadi turned and walked back toward her cottage, leaving Kokita standing by the kadamba tree. Kokita then returned to his father and told him what she had said, and the king replied, "Why have you returned unsuccessful? I must have that woman. Now that I have seen her, all other women seem to me just like monkeys. Why, my mind was entranced the very moment I saw that princess. Dear father, you will have to take her by force. Surely she will not come willingly." Jayadratha got down from his chariot and went with his son and several other kings toward the Pandavas' hermitage. Like a pack of wolves entering a lion's den, they went into the ashram and saw Draupadi standing there. In a silky voice, Jayadratha said, "Oh, is all well with you and your husbands, O Queen?" "Oh, yes, everything is just fine. But tell me, is all well with your kingdom, treasury, and armies? Are you justly ruling the prosperous countries of Sindhu, Salvira, and all others brought under your sway? Soon Yudhishthir will return and offer you refreshments. So for now, please accept this water to wash your feet, and be pleased to wait for my husbands." Draupadi pointed toward several large pitchers of water standing by her cottage. Jayadratha smiled. "O fair-faced one, all is well with us, but we have no interest in food and water." Jayadratha then started to stare at Draupadi as he continued speaking. "I wish to take you with us. Why do you remain attached to Kunti's wretched sons? Why, they have lost all their prosperity and are forced to dwell in the forest. A woman of good sense does not devote herself to a fallen husband. Your husbands have fallen from their dignity and have lost everything. So you need not share the Pandavas' miseries. O you of beautiful hips, renouncing them, become my wife and share with me the kingdoms of Sindhu and Salvira." Draupadi frowned and retreated a few steps. She felt pain to hear Jayadratha's speech. "Are you not ashamed to speak in this way? How dare you address me like this?" Draupadi's face became flushed and her eyes turned crimson. Her voice rose to an angry shout. "You fool! How dare you insult the illustrious Pandavas, each of whom is like Indra himself? The Pandavas all abide by their duties, and they never waver in battle, even with the Celestials. Those who are wise never criticize men who practice devout penances, even if they are impoverished. Only dogs speak like you. I do not see anyone here who can save you from the pit that you have dug under your own feet. By expecting to defeat the pious Yudhishthir, you hope to separate with a stick a Himalayan elephant from his herd. Out of childishness, you are rousing a sleeping mountain lion to pluck a hair from his face. You will have to flee with all speed when you see the furious Bhima. And when Arjuna returns, you will not know which way to turn. Your inviting these two heroes to an encounter is like a fool trampling on the tails of two enraged and venomous cobras. Just as a bamboo bears fruit only to perish, or as a crab conceives only to die, so you shall meet your end when you attempt to lay your hands upon me." But Jayadratha only laughed. He was enchanted by the sight of the furious Draupadi. "Oh, Panchali, I know all of this. You cannot frighten me with your empty threats. I am born in a royal line, endowed with opulence and qualities, and I consider the Pandavas inferior. Therefore, mount my chariot and come with me. Do not speak so boastfully." Draupadi was horrified. Why does this fool take me to be powerless? Why, even Indra could not abduct me. Even if he tried, Arjuna and Krishna, riding upon the same chariot, would follow and destroy him. What then of a mere weak human being? O king, when Arjuna releases his deadly arrows, you will then see your entire force destroyed just as dry grass is consumed by fire. Beholding Bhimasena rushing at you with his upraised mace, and the twins ranging on all sides, vomiting forth their anger, then you will be sorry. As I have never proven false to my husbands, even in my thoughts, so those illustrious men will destroy you. I do not fear you, wretch. Draupadi then looked away from Jayadratha. She knew that by her own ascetic powers, she could reduce him to ashes. But she did not want to be drawn to such violence simply by this Jayadratha. Her husbands would deal with him soon enough. Jayadratha stepped forward and then seized the princess by the arm. She cried, "Do not pollute me by your touch! Oh, Daumya, Daumya!" Jayadratha then took hold of her upper garment, but she pushed him back with such great force that he fell to the ground. Now Jayadratha was angry. He grabbed Draupadi and dragged her to his chariot. Suddenly Daumya appeared and rebuked Jayadratha. "You cannot seize this lady without defeating the Pandavas. O king, you should observe the ancient custom of the Kshatriyas. Truly, you will reap the results of this wicked act when the heroic Pandavas return." But Jayadratha ignored Daumya. He placed Draupadi on his chariot and sped away, followed by his army. Daumya entered among the king's troops and stayed close behind, continuously reprimanding him with very strong words. The Pandavas were some distance from the ashram, and as they went through the dense forest, Yudhishthir began noticing inauspicious signs. "Do you see how these birds and animals flee toward the sun and pass excrement? This indicates that the forest has been invaded by enemies. Let us return to the ashram. My heart seems to be aching for some reason, and my mind is clouded. Why, I feel as if I were about to fly right out of my body." The five brothers immediately started back. As they raced through the trees and bushes with their weapons flying behind them, they saw a jackal yelling hideously. Yudhishthir became still more concerned and urged his brothers onward. Suddenly they burst into the clearing where they were camped. There on the ground, weeping loudly, they saw Draupadi's maid, Datriyeka. The Pandavas' ever-present servant and charioteer, Indrasena, dismounted and went over to her. "Why do you weep? I hope no ill has befallen the Princess Draupadi. Could anyone have been so foolish enough to snatch away that incomparably beautiful lady? Dharma's son has become so anxious that he is ready to go after her, even if she has entered the earth, or soared to the heavens, or gone to the bottom of the sea. Now, who today will fall to earth with his body pierced and torn by arrows? O gentle girl, do not weep, for Panchali will come back this very day and be reunited with her lords." Rubbing her face, the maid replied, "Disregarding her five Indra-like husbands, Jayadratha has carried Draupadi away by force. See here the trail left by that wretch and his followers. It happened not long ago, so he cannot have gotten very far. Now, my lords, quickly give chase, lest Draupadi be violently overpowered, and being beside herself, give up her person to an unworthy man, even as a sacrificial oblation might be thrown into ashes. Do not let the ghee be poured onto an unigniting fire of chaff, or the sacred garland thrown into a crematorium. Let no demoniac man touch with his lips your wife's brilliant face, just as the soma juice might be licked up by a dog through the inattentiveness of a priest. Yudhishthir then replied, O gentle woman, go to your hut and govern your tongue. Kings and princes who are puffed up with their power soon come to grief. Immediately the Pandavas went after Jayadratha. They twanged their bows and breathed the hot sighs of furious serpents. Soon they saw the dust raised by Jayadratha's army. Coming near the soldiers, they saw Daumya wailing. Urging Bhima to go after Jayadratha, Yudhishthir consoled the rishi and said, O priest, go back now. This low-minded one will soon be punished. And like hawks swooping down on prey, the Pandavas rushed upon Jayadratha's army with fierce cries. Seeing the Sindhu king in the distance with Draupadi on his chariot, their anger increased like a fire fed with ghee. They called out to Jayadratha to stop and fight. Upon hearing their thunderous shouts, Jayadratha's soldiers lost their sense and were seized by terror. Jayadratha looked back and saw the 5 chariots of the Pandavas racing towards him. He then said to Draupadi, 5 great heroes approach, O princess. I think they may be your husbands. Tell me now, which of them rides which chariot? Oh, you fool! After committing an act which will end your life, why do you ask such a question? Still, as you are on the point of death, it behooves me to answer you. But seeing Dharmaraj here, along with his 4 brothers, I have not the slightest fear. Do you see that chariot upon which there is a staff with 2 celestial drums that are always being beaten? There you can see a lean man, the color of pure gold, with large eyes and a highly raised nose. That is Yudhishthir, and he is merciful even to an enemy who seeks his shelter. Therefore put down your weapons and fall down at his feet if you wish for your own safety. Now on the right side of Yudhishthir's chariot, there is one seated on that car who has long arms and is as tall as a shala tree, and he is biting his lips and contracting his brow. That is Vrikodara, and his strength is superhuman, and the earth knows him as Bhimasena. And those who offend him cannot live. He never forgets an enemy, but always takes revenge, and even then he is not pacified. And you see that chariot on the left side of Yudhishthir? That one blazes like fire, and he is always firm in battle. He never commits a cruel deed, never relinquishes virtue out of fear, lust, or anger, and he can face any enemy. That is my husband, Dhananjay. Now behind Yudhishthir, you see the twins on golden chariots. Here comes the religious Nakula, who is loved by his brothers as if he were their own life. He is an expert swordsman, and today you will see him cut your troops down like wheat. By his side is Sahadev, the youngest and the favorite of all the Pandavas. His wisdom and eloquence are without comparison. That intelligent hero, so dear to his mother Kunti, would rather enter fire than say anything against religion or morality. Jayadratha, indeed, you look alarmed. Yes, now you will see your army like a ship with its cargo of jewels wrecked on the rocks. If you are able to escape unharmed from my husbands, you will have a new lease on life. Jayadratha immediately shouted out commands to his generals, quickly arraying his forces for battle. The Pandavas left off the infantry soldiers who were begging for mercy and made straight for the chariot fighters surrounding Jayadratha. And as they charged into battle, they darkened the sky with a thick shower of arrows. Seeing them advance like dreadful tigers, the fighters in Jayadratha's army lost heart. Raising his mace, Bhima flew toward Jayadratha with a roar. Kautika and the other charioteers quickly came to protect Jayadratha. They rained down arrows, darts, and clubs upon Bhima. But he moved headlong at high speed without flinching, and with a single blow from his mace, Bhima slew a great elephant along with its driver that was fighting in front of Jayadratha. With a few more blows, Bhima mowed down 14 foot soldiers. At the same time, he fended off all the weapons being hurled at him. As Bhima moved closer to the Sindhu king, Arjuna killed 500 warriors who stood before him. Yudhishthira himself slew hundreds more, and Nakula went about with a sword, scattering the heads of the soldiers fighting in the rear of the army, just like a cultivator sowing seeds. From his chariot, Sahadev released fierce iron arrows which cut down many warriors fighting on the backs of elephants. They fell like birds dropping from a tree. Then a powerful king named Trigarta, fighting against Yudhishthira, suddenly descended from his chariot and slew Yudhishthira's 4 horses with his mace. Yudhishthira pierced Trigarta's breast with a sharp-pointed arrow, and he fell to the earth, vomiting blood. Yudhishthira, along with his charioteer Indrasena, then leaped onto Sahadev's chariot. Meanwhile, Nakula was being assailed by a mighty elephant fighter named Suratha. The elephant crushed Nakula's chariot and dragged it across the battlefield. Nakula jumped down with his sword and shield and fearlessly faced his foe. Suratha goaded his elephant toward Nakula, and the infuriated beast rushed at Nakula with a scream. Nakula swung his sword and severed the elephant's trunk and tusks. The beast, who was clad in golden mail, fell headlong to the earth, crushing its rider. Nakula then quickly jumped onto Bhima's chariot. Bhima released arrows with deadly accuracy. With a crescent-headed shaft, Bhima slew Kokita's charioteer, and his chariot flew about helter-skelter on the battlefield. As the confused Kokita tried to restrain his horses, Bhima shot a beautifully plumed arrow and severed the prince's head. At the same time, Arjuna killed 12 other princes who were fighting by the side of Kokita. Thousands of other warriors were also slain by the Pandavas. The battlefield was now strewn with the bodies of both men and animals. Many chariots with tall flag standards lay smashed upon the ground, along with armor, helmets, swords, and severed limbs. What was left of Jayadratha's army all but fled. Many ravens, crows, falcons, and jackals, all crying out in joy, came to feast on the flesh of the dead warriors. Jayadratha was now terrified. Quickly he put Draupadi down from his chariot and fled into the woods. Yudhishthir had Sahadev take Draupadi up onto his chariot, while Bhima continued to slay the fleeing soldiers. However, Arjuna checked him. "What will you gain by killing these poor soldiers? They are afraid for their lives, and so they are running here and there. Let them go. You should chase after Jayadratha." Bhima agreed. Turning to Yudhishthir, he spoke. "O king, the army has been routed, and its leader has fled. If you wish, go now with the twins and take Draupadi back to the hermitage. Meanwhile, Arjuna and I will deal with Jayadratha. He will not survive, even if he goes to Indra for protection." "O mighty armed one, you should remember, Jayadratha is the husband of our sister Dushala, the daughter of Gandhari. Therefore, do not kill him." But Draupadi became agitated to hear Yudhishthir's words, and she spoke to Bhima. "If you wish to please me, then do not spare that infamous and despicable Sindhu king. An enemy who carries away one's wife, or one who steals one's kingdom, should never be forgiven in battle, even if he begs for mercy." Yudhishthir consoled Draupadi and then returned with her to the hermitage. Bhima and Arjuna at once headed into the forest, going after Jayadratha. The Sindhu king had already gone about 2 miles. Arjuna took out 4 arrows and began uttering mantras as he placed them on his bow. Pulling back the Gandiva into a full circle, Arjuna fired the arrows. They sped through the air over the tops of the trees, covering the full 2 miles and killing Jayadratha's 4 horses. The king fell from his chariot in fear. Getting to his feet, Jayadratha stumbled through the undergrowth deeper into the forest. But quickly catching up to him, Arjuna shouted, "O Sindhu king, with what prowess did you dare take away our wife? Now stand and fight, for it does not become you to flee, leaving your followers to face the enemy." Jayadratha did not look back. Bhima jumped down from his chariot and bounded after him, his eyes red with fury. Bhima quickly caught the terrified king and seized Jayadratha violently by the hair. Arjuna then called out, "Do not kill him," and Bhima, who was about to deliver a most powerful blow, pulled back his fist. He dashed Jayadratha to the ground and kicked him in the head. As the dazed king staggered to his feet, Bhima knocked him about, striking his head and chest with his fists and knees. Jayadratha fell unconscious to the ground, and Bhima dragged him to Arjuna. Through clenched teeth, Bhima spoke. "Oh, this one has committed a most heinous crime and does not deserve to live. But because Yudhishthir has commanded us, what can we do? For the king is always merciful and forgiving." Bhima looked contemptuously at Jayadratha, who was now returning to consciousness. Bhima considered how best to punish him. Bhima took from his quiver a razor-headed arrow and shaved off Jayadratha's hair, leaving only 5 tufts. For a Kshatriya, such treatment was tantamount to being killed. It meant that he had been defeated and humiliated at the hands of a more powerful enemy, but was able to leave with his life. It was better to die in battle than to suffer such humiliation, and so Jayadratha was consumed with shame. Bhima threw him to the ground and spoke, "Fool, if you wish to live, then listen to my words. From now on, wherever you may go, you must announce yourself as the slave of the Pandavas, for this is the accepted custom." Jayadratha just sat on the ground with his head bowed and replied in a trembling voice, "Tathastu, so be it." Bhima pulled the king up and pushed him towards Arjuna's chariot, ordering, "Get aboard. We will now take you to Yudhishthir to receive his command." They rode back to the hermitage and found Yudhishthir seated amid the Brahmanas. Bhima dragged Jayadratha down from the chariot and had him bow down before Yudhishthir. "Here is the wretch who offended Draupadi. You may tell the princess that this vile man has now become our slave." "Oh, let him go, Bhimasena." Draupadi came out of her hut and saw the humiliated Jayadratha on the ground in front of Yudhishthir. The soft-hearted princess, thinking of her cousin Dushala, said, "Yes, we should spare him. Bhima has punished him sufficiently, and so Jayadratha has now become our slave. Set him free." Bhima released Jayadratha, and the Sindhu king, now beside himself with anguish and shame, bowed before Yudhishthir and the Brahmanas, and then stood up to leave. Then Yudhishthir spoke to him, "You are a free man. I release you at this time. But do not commit such a vile act again. Although Draupadi was weak and powerless, you tried to abduct another's wife by force." Seeing Jayadratha's piteous condition, Yudhishthir was moved to compassion. He held up his hand in blessing and said, "O Jayadratha, may your heart grow in virtue. Go now in peace with your followers, and never again contemplate such impiety." Jayadratha walked away from the hermitage sorrowfully. He thought only of how to avenge himself on the Pandavas. Now realizing that he would never be able to overcome them in battle, Jayadratha decided to accept a vow of asceticism in order to please the great Lord Shiva. If he was empowered by that great deity, then surely he would be able to defeat any enemy, even the mighty Pandavas. The Sindhu king made his way to the bank of the Ganga and sat down in meditation. For a long time, Jayadratha practiced severe austerities, eating only leaves and remaining wrapped in prayer to Mahadev. Eventually, Lord Shiva came before him and said, "What do you desire?" "Oh, my Lord, may I be able to vanquish in battle all 5 Pandavas seated on their chariots." "No, my child, this cannot be, for the Pandavas are unconquerable because they are protected by Krishna, so even I cannot slay them. Therefore, your desire is impossible to fulfill. But I will grant you this much, with the exception of Arjuna, who is the invincible sage Nara incarnate. You will be able to check all of the Pandavas in battle only one time. After granting this boon, Lord Shiva vanished, leaving Jayadratha to return to his own kingdom, wondering when that day would come when he would be able to use Lord Shiva's boon. Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Jaya Ram. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Jaya Ram. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jaya Ram. Sita Ram, Jaya Sita 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 Ram. Hey Ram, hey Ram. Hey Ram, hey Ram. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava. Rama Raghava Rakshaman. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava. Rama Raghava Pahiman. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshaman. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Pahiman. Hey Ram, hey Ram. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. 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 Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Klada Dayani. Prahlada Klada Dayani. Kashi Purvaksha. Hiranya Kashi Purvaksha. Shilatankan Kalai. Shilatankan Kalai. Bharata Nrsimho. Ito Nrsimha Bharata Nrsimho. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimho Hridayi Nrsimho. Bahir Nrsimho Hridayi Nrsimho. Nrsimham Adim Sharanam Prapadye. Nrsimham Adim Sharanam Prapadye. Namaste Narasimhaya. Nrsimham Adim Sharanam Prapadye. Abakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringam. Keshavadrita Nara Hadirupa Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tabakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam. Dalita Hiranya Prahlad